Hey, what's going on? Welcome to 40 Something Fit Dad. I'm your host, Aaron Ross. Welcome to episode 1, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support for episode 0, my introduction episode. I've had some really great feedback. Sorry, it's really windy here in the studio. Had some great feedback, and yeah, I'm just really stoked that I got it out there, and I will get better. The more I watch my first episode, my introduction episode, I realize how clunky and nervous I am, and this is not going to be any different. I'll fumble through it, but I will try and get it out. But I was planning on doing my first episode on pandemic parenting. I thought it was a really cool subject since it's a real unique situation that we're in. I'm in Melbourne, in Victoria. We've been on lockdown for 5 weeks, and that's just been 5 weeks of a 6-week lockdown, and it's just been extended for another 2 weeks. So happy days. I can do that next week, and it'll still be relevant. But I tried to shoot it yesterday or record it yesterday, being Father's Day, and while I'm at it, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I hope you had an awesome day. I just really hope you did, and especially all the new fathers. Salt, I know you're out there. My mate Salty, he's had his baby just recently, his first baby. So I hope you had a ripper, man. It's the first one's always special. So I hope you're really looking forward to socks and coffee cups, but it's all good fun. And I know I've got a few friends who this is their first Father's Day without their father, and that's the tough one. It is tough. I'd love to say it gets easier, but it sucks. It sucks. So I'm thinking of you. And I love you, and I hope you get through the day, and just reflect on the good times. You know, that's the way I look at it. I lost my father a few years ago. He had a long battle with cancer, and unfortunately lost that battle. But I think about him all the time. And days like Father's Day, it's a good time to reflect and be grateful for having such a terrific dad. And I miss him. I miss him a lot, especially with the things he's missing out on with my kids. You know, milestones and birthdays, and I just, wish he was here to give advice on things that I don't understand, or I don't, just someone to talk to. I guess that's what I miss the most. So, but I've got some really great father figures around me. I've got my father-in-law, who he's in his own way. I've worked with him for 10, 15 years, so I've learnt a lot of him. And I've got some Uncle Pete. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, mate. And just some really good people and friends that we can I can talk to, and sometimes you just need that. So happy birthday, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. As I get older, I think ever since turning 40, I think I have a greater appreciation of being a dad. I think when I first, I don't know, I wasn't as appreciative as I am now of being a dad. I think it's the most interesting, unique job that I'll ever take on, and it's never too. I've got 3 kids, and they're not the same. None of them are the same. They've got their unique. They've got their differences. They've got their, it's just an amazing sort of thing, and you just try and get an understanding of what they're trying to go through. And I think that's what's happened, especially with this lockdown. What I've noticed is that I have a lot more empathy to my kids. A lot more, yeah, I don't know. I think the less distractions that have been going on, like with, we had, being locked down, we have no sport, we can't socialise, we can't do any of those things here. So the positive take of that is that we've gotten to get to know each other a bit better. And that's, I'm getting to know myself and how I react without distractions, and actually dealing with a few things. Getting to know my partner, and getting to know my kids as well. And I think I've really enjoyed the lockdown. I know it's probably it's not probably probably not a popular thing to say, but I think I thought at the start of the lockdown that, if I don't come out a better person after this lockdown, with all the time that we've been given to sort of be with ourselves and deal with ourselves, is, if I don't become a better person after that, then I've wasted it. If that makes sense. So so I don't know where I was going with that, but just over the last year, I just feel that I've got a better understanding of my role. I know, and the way I sort of look at it as well is what my dad did, and I think I've learned off him, because he made mistakes, and he did things that I thought, were, he's been married 3 times, and when I was younger, like, this is, I was very upset. I was probably, it was I look at his divorce with my mum to be the right choice. They were just young and completely different personalities, and they remained fantastic friends after, and that's something that I'll always be grateful for. But they were completely different. But I'm glad they met. Well, and and these things happen as well. And then my mum remarried, and my dad remarried, and I've got 2 sisters and a brother, and nieces and nephews. So it all works out, and it all works. There's some plan that for it to happen, and so I'm really grateful for that. But and I've just, as I sort of reflect on so-called mistakes, that that I've made and my dad made, and that we're human. We are designed to make mistakes, and it's what we do after those mistakes. And we are with flaws, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's the way I've looked over, it's only happened in the last sort of month or so that I have got some really bad habits and that I need to change, and it's okay. It's okay to have these flaws, and I, reflecting on, my dad, he remarried for the 3rd time and went to America. So I was very upset at the time, and I know it affected my sister and obviously my stepmom, and it was it was a shitty time. But looking back on it, I kind of get why he did it, and he what he did over there as well when he was in the States, he was, he fulfilled a lot of his dreams as well. He worked with, he wrote a book, and he worked with a psychologist that he'd been sort of reading a lot of his works, and he ended up working with him. And I don't know, it was like he was fulfilling his destiny, I guess, in a way, which and I remember talking to him, a couple of weeks before he, when he was in a bad way, and we sort of knew that the time was coming close. That was the hardest thing that he ever did in his life, was leave us. So, yeah. So parents are humans, and being a dad, we are humans, and I'm very insecure with a lot of things, and I'm okay with that. I think it's just taken age and learning and a lot of fuck ups and a lot of mistakes, and to realize that it's okay. It's okay to be a human and have faults and embrace your faults. Your flaws, sorry. That's the way I looked at it. I wrote it down as embrace your flaws. It doesn't mean, the way I sort of looked at it, embrace them is like accept your faults, accept that they're real, and if you want to change them, definitely go try and change them. I'm in the process of changing a lot of my bad habits, and it's tough because they're a habit. You just sometimes it's a bit of escapism, but it's okay, and accept them and double down on your strengths, because everyone's got superpowers. Everyone's got a strength. Everyone's got it, and sometimes we're told that we shouldn't use it, or so many creative people that I know, and but we always just concentrate on how much of our stuff ups of our which is crazy, man. And I do it every day. It's a weird thing. Either it's a weird human trait or whatever it is, or it's just me, and I don't and I'm a weirdo. But it's just taken me, in the last I think this year, I've sort of had a different perspective on what life is and what I'm doing here, because we only get a short crack at it. We are finite, and we don't get a short crack at it. And I, when I was younger, like when my kids were small, I didn't know how. Being a dad, you sort of take on this role as the breadwinner, and the disciplinarian, and that sort of stuff. And it was so out of character, but I did it anyways. It's not my character to discipline my children or discipline anyone, really. It's weird, and I disciplined in the way I got disciplined, which was, looking back at it, it was really wrong, and it's something that I'm not proud of, but that's the way, that's the way we were. I think we sort of, you got to look at where our parents learnt that from as well. Back in the days, back in the islands, my mum, used to cop hidings and things like that, man. Even these days, it's just like, and that's what I sort of thought discipline was. I thought that was my role. And it isn't. You, the way I look at it is that we're there to guide, and we're there to show support and love and be vulnerable. I admit to my kids now that I don't know what I'm doing. With things I can't make it up. I think that I've got found out over this pandemic. Like, I'm telling it, like, when they're doing homeschooling, which they're struggling with, I'm like, okay, what you got to do is do this, this, and this, and I go, and I'm struggling with a lot of things too. I've got an e-commerce business that I'm falling behind on because I'm struggling with it. And I'm telling them that I just push through in these hard times. It's just, I feel like a hypocrite with a lot of these things, and, I get to bed early and I'm staying up till all times. I don't know. I just feel like honesty is the key. Age appropriate honesty is key. And I think that sort of got lost. I think you just got to go with whatever your personality is. I'm not a disciplinarian. I don't, I'm not very, I haven't got that, I don't know, presence or something. I don't know. I just really, really love them. I've not that I didn't love them, but now I love what they're going through. They're going through some struggle, and I love seeing their personality come out in it, and I feel like we can do this together, with anything, whether it is with school or anything. And I like this role. I like being, I'm not the cool dad. I'm still a dork. I like to embarrass them. I don't know. I just enjoy it, and I'm starting to become very open with them. I was a closed book, man. I was I was a closed book, and I hid a lot of things with humor. I made a lot of jokes. That's my defense mechanism was humor. I think this house is gonna fall down. Just being open with them and honest with them and having those hard conversations, especially with my son. He's 16, going on 17. He needs that guidance. And I have to get out of my comfort zone to give him that guidance. And I feel better for it. Things happen and he goes to other people for help where he should be coming to me. That's where our relationship was, I was distant. Wasn't distant. I don't know. I was just in a weird headspace where I thought I was very insecure with what advice I could give him, because I'd done some, I don't know. I just didn't think I was qualified to give the advice my son was after. And looking back at it now, it wasn't that far away. It was pretty recent as well, So yeah, I was very insecure about it. But even with recent conversations, I'm loving it. I'm loving the uncomfortableness, because it means these things that we're saying had to be said. And that's one advice I'd give to any new parent, or especially when they're becoming teenagers or whatever. Or it doesn't matter, any age, is be vulnerable, be open, be loving, because so they do your head in, but they're trying to figure it out too. They're trying to figure out their place. And yeah, I really appreciate I'm really grateful for being a dad. I really am. I am so lucky. And yesterday was Father's Day, and it's probably my most favoritist Father's Day ever. We're all stuck at home, and we did things. We got up. We had Charlie cooked me breakfast. We had bacon and eggs, which was cool. And then what happened? Me and Harlem took the dog for a walk. It was a beautiful day, so we're chatting. I mean, she chews my ear off anyway. Harlem, she loves a chat. So and I actually listened. Instead of coming home after a hard day at work or a long day at work, and then hearing her talk, I'm like, oh my goodness. But I actually listened, and we had great conversation. And then we went, and she'd just learned how to ride a bike, so we went for a bike ride. Then I come home, and the UFC was on, so I watched some fights, had a bit of a nap. Then Khan was up and about out of his cave, so we watched a movie together, had a laugh, and then the footy was on, and Taylor came out and watched half the second half of the doggies game. They won, so we were happy. And then what else? And then had a few beers, and then watched Cobra Kai with Charlie and went to sleep. And it was a great day. It was a wicked day. It was, I was just really filled with a lot of gratitude. And just go, every day should be like this, or close to this, not just one day a week, or one day a year, sorry. So yeah, that was my Father's Day. And I look back on it like today. I wanted to do this yesterday. I was going to do it yesterday. I'm trying to make Sundays my recording day, but I couldn't do it. My head wasn't in it. Thinking of Dad, I got pretty emotional. I was actually in bed, and yeah, it's happy and sad at the same time. It was a weird sort of thing, and I thought, if I'm going to say something, I might as well say it now on this podcast, which is about, being a dad. So, yeah, let me know how your Father's Day was. Yeah, put comments down down there somewhere. Wherever you read this, I've got to get better at this. I've got to get, things work on point and they'd pop up on the screen. I'll try that. But, yeah, Father's Day was great. But yeah, I'm starting to learn a lot of the human side of being a dad. I don't know. I feel like being a dad is like a cartoon character. You just like this. Be yourself at the same time. Get to know yourself. I'm starting to get to know myself a bit better, which, I am a bit of a cartoon character. I can jump in and out of different character traits. It's weird. I've done that sort of all my life. But I'm starting to find out who I am. And it's only taken me 43 years, but I'm starting to find out who I am, what I want to do, what people I want to be with, like hang around with. I'm accepting my faults. I've definitely got faults, and I always will. And I don't care about them. I can be open and honest about them. I'll open up about them on here, I guess, one day when I've got the confidence to do so. But I think it has to be said, because if we should be talking about, our faults and our fears, so they're out there. I think, if you have conversations, it's a hell of a lot better than internalizing them, because that voice in your head, a lot of ego, I should have written that down, ego. A lot of ego. I have got a big ego, and that's what, is, but that's not me. Does that make sense? I know that when my ego jumps in, and it's got me into shitty situations, it's got me out of a lot of situations, but yeah, it's like a completely different person. And I get that I'm like that at sometimes. I still am at sometimes, and it's weird. It's really weird, because I know it's not me, and that's I've got the confidence to say that I know it's not me. So yeah, I think maybe that's for another time. But yeah, ego and insecurity is a deadly mix. But at the same time, it's probably something that I have to go through. I have to go through some shit like this and make those mistakes to learn. And that's what I told my son as well, who made a few mistakes over this year. But I'm happy that he did, in a way. No one got hurt in the process. I mean, but he went through some shit, and as a dad, you want to protect him and not think. I think of him as this little boy, but he's not. I've got to come to terms with it. He's gonna go out there and do some, be a young man and do as young men do, because I've been there and done that, and I want him to learn from it. He's gonna, and I want him to be open with me with that, if that makes sense. I want him to have the confidence to come and talk to me. If some shit doesn't make sense, come and talk to me. If he does get in trouble, come and talk to me. Let's work it out. And that's where my job has got to go in. I have to open up those channels. I have to be the one, really running it and being open with him. But at the same time, having to, with every action is a reaction. And, if you get in trouble with the law or whatever it is, that there's a reaction. There's only so far I can do. I can protect you. So, so it's good. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with it, and I'm happy that I have to put in the work. I think this is my time to, this is my sort of forte, I guess, or this is, my superpower is starting to come out, and being empathetic with him. I'm teaching him, not teaching him, but we're having conversations about, his future. And I go, don't be too locked into what's going to happen over the next, however, as long as you're safe and as long as you're doing the right thing at home, looking after the people that are in your house and your loved ones, and just being true to yourself. And I think that's what I sort of want to give him the confidence to be, is you can make mistakes. I've made mistakes. We all make mistakes, but it's the only way we learn, is to make mistakes, learn from them, and get stronger, and help out those who help out people. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to. The idea of the episode today was for me to open up a little bit. Like I said, I'm just learning this opening up thing. But I think the way I'm seeing my job as a dad is to open up, to be honest to those around you, and be honest about your mistakes as well. Because I feel like sometimes, in my 20s and 30s, I felt like Peter Pan. Like I just felt like I'd never grow up, and and I sort of had separate lives. I had my family, then I had this other life. It was just strange. It was just strange, and it's still, it's still something that I'm working on, and it's okay to. I feel that it's okay to open up about it, and open up and be human about it, and. If you're telling these people they don't understand, then what can you do? That's not your fault. You can only be honest on how you feel about certain things, and just open conversations, and that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to sort of open up myself, and hope if there's if I can spark up a conversation, or if there's some advice you can give to me, or some advice that I can give to you, or however it's gonna work. This is where I want it to happen. This is where I feel that things can happen, and you're not alone with a lot of these things. Parenting is a really tough thing. Fatherhood's a tough thing. Losing a father is a tough thing. Losing loved ones is a tough thing. It's just being grateful, and gratitude's a massive thing. That's something that I'm starting to learn, to be grateful for what I've got, and that's it. That's pretty much it. I hope everyone had a great Father's Day. Um, and even sad Father's Days can be great too, because you can look back and reflect, and you can talk to your loved ones, your ones close, and it'll make you smile. It'll make you smile, because life is freaking precious, man. It's so precious, and the more I think about my kids and what they're going to go through, especially my girls, my goodness, they're 14 and 10, they're going to go through some shit, and I'm starting to get prepared now. I know I've accepted the fact they're going to go through some stuff, and I've told them they're going to go through some stuff, and I'm here, Mum's here, we're all here to help, and it may be tough at the start, but but yeah, we'll get through it together. I think that's the importance of family. That's the importance of family, and I'm just recently starting to really get a true understanding of it. I'm a slow learner, but I'm learning. So I can't do much more than that. Yeah, so that's it. That's it for this episode. I sort of fumble through things. Hopefully it all sort of makes sense. I was jumping around a bit, but thanks again for your support with the podcast. I'm looking to start interviews soon, but I just want to sort of get an understanding of how it all works, and just be with confidence on the mic and things like that. So yeah, obviously with the lockdown, it'll probably be Skype. But definitely want to start these conversations with fellow fathers. Even father. Harlem told me yesterday, like, why do they call it Father's Day? Like, no one says father. Oh, my father. It's dad. That's it. Dad's Day. Bang. DD. Father's Day. Come on. Give it a spell. Anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd share that. But yeah, dads, you're not alone. That's the thing. You're not alone. You're not alone. And I know, like I said at the start, it's a unique situation. Everyone's in a unique situation. And, if we start conversation, if you reach out for help with whatever it is that you're going through, I know that I've got a small group of dads, through footy, that we'll be friends for life. We sort of bounce things off us if we've got problems or something. We just talk. And it's good to get that different perspective. But it's always easier to give that give advice if it's not your kid. Like, oh, what you got to do is this. You can take the advice, but you make of it whatever you will, if that makes sense. But thanks again. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe. I love the interaction. I love people to subscribe, hit the subscribe, leave comments, likes, whatever. I'm aiming to make it every Wednesday to have the podcast out. It's not working on Apple podcast yet, whatever that's called. But it's on Spotify and a couple of others. YouTube, I'll drop it on the Facebook page. But yeah, thanks again. Thanks for your support. And yeah, interviews will be coming in the next couple of weeks. I'll aim probably for the end of the month. But if there's any topics or anything that you think are worthy to discuss, just chuck it in a comment. And yeah, thanks a lot. And I will see you next Wednesday. Peace.